Hey good people, welcome to the channel. I'm Musically Malnourished and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. I'm excited for this one. We are in the 2005 album from Gorillaz called Demon Days. Now this album comes to us courtesy of the Chef's Kiss tier list over on Patreon. They help decide the albums we listen to on Mondays, whereas the Patreon community as a whole, any member over there helps decide the albums we listen to on Wednesdays. Now I have heard some Gorillaz songs before, and even in one of our mixtape videos recently, someone got something in from their newest album, The Mountain. But I've never listened to a full Gorillaz project, so excited to get into this. I did a little bit of research just because obviously it's a very unconventional group or band, and I believe it's made up of two members, Damon Albarn, who is the primary musician, songwriter, and plays the role of the lead singer. I don't know all the animated members' names yet, so you guys feel free to fill in any gaps along the way. And secondly, Jamie Hewlett, who's kind of the visual mastermind, helps direct the music videos, does writing of the lore and all those other things. And then obviously they tap on many musicians and vocalists to help bring a lot of things to life. So with that being said, we're going to give each song a listen. I'm going to make a few notes along the way on my handy dandy notebook here. That way after each track we can talk about the things that stand out and see what insider information we can find. So let's get in with track 1, titled Intro. Such a weird and cool vibe to start off with. Transitions, cool. Let's let this roll and then we'll go back and look at song 1 too.
Are we the last living souls? 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 Chica gone, how you say? That's no way to behave. And kiss along, and you pretend to sing a song. It doesn't sing, it grows.
Love the variation. Okay, throughout this, we will try to be sensitive to transitions. I know they mean a lot to you, and trust me, I will do my best to listen to them, but don't worry, because I listen to these projects after I listen to them with you. So I am a sucker for a good transition, just like everybody else, but just don't fret too much if we don't nail them, because I will fully get it. I think I did a little bit of looking into this album, and my understanding is the idea of Demon Days is kind of dealing with some of the issues that we face in society, maybe even around like the kind of, what's the best way to say this? Overconsumption or humans raping the earth, maybe is the best way I can think about putting it, but we'll see as we get in. So let's go back, first and foremost, talk about the intro. Obviously, one of the things that stands out with this group is their ability to create these compelling stories and characters, and it comes through as well in the music. It's got a great atmosphere and set a really interesting mood there in the beginning, kind of this dark, not quite carnival mood, maybe more of a wasteland type thing. And I love the characters. I think the art is brilliant in it. And I know that Jamie also worked on, I think, a really acclaimed anime or manga or comic, graphic novel. Not 100% sure. We might be able to look into it as we go on. But this says, this song is a slightly altered version of Don Harper's Dark Earth from the film Dawn of the Dead, and includes a sample of Snakes and Ladders, which was by Gorillaz and Roots' Manuva, and was supposed to be on the album, but it got scrapped. It was later released as Soldier Boy by Martina Topley-Bird, and featured Gorillaz and Roots' Manuva. One comment that I did see about this, and I don't even remember where it was at, is when it says who put the chemicals in the food chain. I think somebody said it was probably the same person that let the dogs out. All right. Let's see. Oh, it was on this. It's probably the same guy that let the dogs out. Who though? Me. 'Twas I. I know it was one of y'all. Cool. All right, let's hop back here, jump into this second one. This says, the orchestral, arresting, and breakneck second track from Demon Days. Breakneck? I wonder why they call it breakneck. Normally when I think of breakneck, I think of like something that's just like, boom, like fast. Still felt pretty chill to me. So from Gorillaz' Rise of the Ogre book, it says track 2 opens with a solo rhythm from a cheap, crappy drum machine. The album's motif of a duality between electronic claustrophobia and mournful acoustic refrains first rears its head on this track. The track reeks of sweating trouble between sentient beings and the minefields of the zombie landscape, a ballad for life before death. So I wonder if this is supposed to be a theme throughout it, this idea of a zombie landscape, which would also obviously make sense with this, us being the last living souls. And if I had to go with like what I know about the album so far, it would probably be pitting those that feel like they're awake, trying to make a difference, trying to be conscious. Because unfortunately, as humans, and it can happen to the best of us at times, you know, we can just get in this like drone state where we're operating and living and let the days pass without being intentional. And I think intentional living is the best form of living, being purposeful about the way we spend our time, purposeful about the words that we use, all those different things. And obviously, if you want to translate that into relationships and, you know, fostering the things that matter most in life, if we don't live purposefully, it's kind of like there's this quote that says everybody ends up somewhere, but not everybody ends up somewhere on purpose. So we will all live our days. We will all end up somewhere. But if we want to be somewhere that we desire to be with ourselves, our minds, our hearts, with the people that we love, then it takes intentionality to get to a place on purpose. So this says, produced by Jason Cox, Danger Mouse, and James Dring. Danger Mouse, this intrigues me. So Brian Burton, better known as Danger Mouse, is a producer, musician, and songwriter from New York. One half of the duo Gnarls Barkley. Okay. With CeeLo Green. I never knew Gnarls Barkley was a duo, but that makes sense. I listened to the album way back in the day that had, what was it? You Think You're Crazy. I used to love that album. Obviously, I knew CeeLo Green was a part of that, but I didn't understand that it was a duo. Also, half of the duo Broken Bells. He's worked mainly in the genres of hip-hop and rock. So it looks like he's been with, got some A$AP Rocky here, Red Hot Chili Peppers, obviously Gorillaz, the Black Keys, Adele. All right, you go, man. Unlock this song. Some lyrics are wrong. Terribly wrong lyrics. Somebody posted the lyrics. What's labeled as verse 3? Okay, so everybody's just harping on the lyrics here. Well, then we won't waste our time at the moment going through those lyrics. But it looks like, I guess, maybe there's a book about this. Why don't we take a look at that real quick and then we'll move on. Let's see. Rise of the Ogre book. I think I can safely bring you guys in on this. Rise of the Ogre. So, let's see. There's guerrilla info. So it'll be packed full of great shots from the set of our videos, gigs, rehearsals, interviews, you name it. It's all in there. Just place your order up front, kids. Stunning full-color hardback, most unique rock autobiography ever published. And this was published in 2006. So following this album, that's interesting. Very cool. Might have to get that one. All right, let's go ahead and hop into track 3. This is Kids with Guns.
Kids with guns, taken over, but it won't be long. They're mesmerized, skeletons. Kids with guns, kids with guns. Easy does it, they got something to say. Drinking out, pacify, has it easy, does it? They got something to say.
Now they're turning us into monsters, turning us into fire, turning us into monsters. That's all desire, that's all desire, that's all
Drinking out,
desire.
pacify, taking soul. Where you are doesn't make sad too, but it won't be long. Cause kids with guns,
Seem like fairly cryptic
does it easy,
lyrics.
does it? They got something to say.
Now they're turning us into monsters, turning us into fire, turning us into monsters. That's all desire, that's all desire, that's all
It's real, it's real, it's real, push it real.
That's a cool drum rhythm. Kids with guns. I guess we'll find out, man. We're just gonna have to soak this project in because it makes me wonder, are they speaking to something around gun violence? Is the idea of kids with guns something like, are the guns a metaphor for something? And then trying to say they've got something to say no to. Could it be the idea that like they're presented with the opportunity to say no to guns? Because this also coming out in 2005 is really before social media craze, because I could see a song like this today possibly centering around like phones and being on their devices all of the time, and the device kind of being this idea of a gun, something dangerous they can either toward themselves soaking in just all the time, or how kids can be very hurtful and hateful if they're not trained properly and they're given unchecked access to mobile devices and social media and text messaging before they've had the opportunity to develop a maturity. And I've seen that happen. I was a youth pastor for 10 years and in a pastoral place for about 20 years. And so I saw plenty of things dealing with teenagers and the harms that they can cause one another with those devices. All that being said, obviously that's kind of before this time. So let's get in and take a look. Kids with Guns was released as the fourth and final single from Demon Days. Features guest vocals from Swedish singer-songwriter rapper Neneh Cherry, or Sherry. The song is an indictment of children's obsession with violence, particularly regarding the lifestyles glamorized by popular media which can corrupt the youth. The lyrics were inspired by a boy in Damon Albarn's daughter's class who got in trouble for coming to school with a knife. This song could also be subtly referencing Noodle's childhood as a super soldier in Japan. Okay, so that's one of the characters. They all have backstories? That's interesting. At this point, she had remembered her past, and all the music to Demon Days was written by Noodle. Okay, that's good to know. Maybe what we should do really quickly is see if we can get a quick background. A quick background of Noodle from Gorillaz. I was like, what are we listening to again? So Noodle is the fictional lead guitarist, keyboardist, vocalist for the virtual band Gorillaz, created by musicians Damon Albarn and artist Jamie Hewlett in 1998. Her detailed background includes the following. Super soldier past. Noodle was born in Osaka, Japan on October 31st, 1990, was part of a secret classified Japanese government super soldier project. Out of 23 highly trained child warriors, she was the only one whose musical ability was honed, specializing in the guitar. When the project was canceled, the government ordered all the children destroyed. Her mentor and creator, Mr. Kuzo, wiped her memories, locked her in a FedEx crate, and shipped her to the UK. Sounds like, was this out of mercy to help her escape and let her go, like, put her effort into her music? The crate happened to arrive right as the newly formed Gorillaz were looking for a replacement guitarist. She emerged from the box, performed a 20-foot karate kick, and spoke her only English word at the time, Noodle, giving her the permanent nickname. So while she was only 10 years old during the band's debut, she is incredibly mature and intelligent. She served as the musical mastermind behind the band's acclaimed sophomore album, Demon Days, which helped them find massive global success. Throughout the years, her speaking voice has been provided by Haruka Kuroda and Haruka Abe, while musicians like Miho Hattori and Rosie Wilson provided her singing voice in various phases. Okay. We'll gain a little knowledge along the way. So Gorillaz said a nice boy just decided to pick up a knife and show it to his friends at lunchtime. It's a very real problem, but I'm not treating it as a problem. It's part of the brutalization of a generation that's going on at the moment. Okay, produced by Danger Mouse, James Dring, and Jason Cox. So it says, this may be repeating some of what we saw. Gorillaz guitarist Noodle wrote Demon Days almost entirely by herself, which means she must also have written Kids with Guns. Songs presumably about the use of children as soldiers, which would make sense because Noodle was trained during her childhood in Japan to be a soldier. Therefore, this song is a very personal one. I might have an idea, one commenter says, what drinking out, pacifier, vitamin souls, the street desire is about. Basically saying the older generation corrupts them with alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, or other things they shouldn't be taking while making them think these things are good, thus robbing them of their own train of thought, making them easy to control like babies. They feed the lowest desires of humans, turning them into mere tools if one wants to take it that way. That's interesting. And I mean, if you think about, unfortunately, children soldiers, they are often given access to very adult things, alcohol, drugs, not necessarily to call cigarettes or alcohol or drugs adult appropriate things, but obviously not by the time you're an adult, you got to make those your own decisions. But to introduce those things to children, at least the way that a lot of times children soldiers are portrayed in certain media, things like the movie Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio, and other times that we see it, I think it is just kind of putting them in this world, almost like in Pinocchio, the island of, gosh, I can't think of what it is. But it's essentially the place that they take all of the kids and then they just let them run wild and give them access to all these different things. But then it turns them into donkeys or turns them into jackasses. And could be kind of a commentary on that as well. It's really interesting, man. All right, let's get in to track 4. This is titled "Oh Green World." world. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you want access to hundreds of hours of additional content from dozens of artists, then check out my Patreon. That's where we host music videos, live performances, exclusive live streams, behind the scenes content, documentaries, and you get the ability to help vote on the albums we listen to here on the channel. Patreon is the best way to support this channel, and you can get access to the entire library, past, present, and future for just $5. Join the amazing community that we're building over there, and I try to make it worth your time and your money. All right, let's get back into it. Come on. You can do it. Here we go. If you know me, you know, love a fat bass line. Comes through the reverberating of the strings. Sells to lie versus lies to sell. One thing I loved about the opening of this song is, and it's really cool when people do this. And again, as somebody who's kind of learning to make music myself, these are things I really pay attention to because you have the bass there. And like I said, I love when you can hear, it's not super clean. You can almost hear the string continue to rattle after hitting the notes, but they also mix. It's kind of like you've got a few bass lines, and then if you were to imagine if you just continued playing the bass line, but instead of it being the bass, it sounded more like some synth work with some effects on it. And that's just really cool because it makes sense. Like, well, let's just play the whole bass line. But what if we chopped it and we did part of it in the bass line, and then we do this different sound that's kind of in the same vein, but a little bit different? I love stuff like that, man. It just makes it so interesting. I'm really surprised too. You can tell they're just having a lot of fun, a lot of experimentation going on here, a lot of different sounds and noises and effects. And I'm really glad this found such a large audience that it did, because it is very obscure. And I don't know, necessarily the music scene at that time so much. I'm definitely more acquainted with that time, but not super. So you guys let me know. I would imagine this was probably pretty like forward, pretty progressive, kind of on the edge, pushing new territory. Obviously, the concept of, as a whole is doing that, but even musically, because it's such a mix of kind of this alternative and electric. So really cool. As far as the song itself goes, let's hop in over here. Hopefully these lyrics are correct, but I imagine they're probably close enough. So, "Oh green world," I would assume, speaking to just the earth, that which is living and good. "Don't desert me now. Bring me back to Fallen Town, where someone is still alive. Fighting for something new in this, when no one needs the heart of me, and I'm looking out somewhere I've never been before." So let's check out what this person has to say. It says, "The world has clearly fallen into some sort of dystopia, deserted. 2D longs to be taken back to somewhere is alive, to somewhere that is alive, maybe." The environmental post-apocalyptic edge of the song is further emphasized by the fact the image given to the song inside the booklet of the Demon Days album depicts a dark, garbage-laden landscape with a small hand sticking out amongst it, which maybe is that idea there's someone in Fallen Town that still needs him. Additionally, Damon Albarn's use of archaic language in the song's title is notable and intentional. The O in "Oh Green World" is a poetic apostrophe, a figure of speech traditionally used in a lot of pre-20th century poetry when addressing a person, abstract idea, or thing which is absent. In this circumstance, the thing of absence is the green world, the natural environment, which is abandoning humanity now as a result of our actions against it, deforestation, pollution, etc. So with looking out somewhere I've never been before, here 2D is stating he's searching for an unspecified location he's never been to, perhaps expressing he's never truly known the world as it once was. A lush green paradise, yeah, like a searching. Unfortunately, we can infer that civilization has tainted such a place long before his lifetime. The world has entered a depressing state of ruin and abandonment, and now he's longing for the natural world humanity once knew. The said green world has been destroyed as a result of humanity's greed at its expense. It's really interesting, man. It makes me want to dive deep. I'm sure I'll watch a video on the album. There's got to be a documentary out there around the lore and things like that. "Oh Green World" is a song tinged with influences from industrial rock, incorporating minimal atmospheric elements. The track talks about pollution, what has happened to Earth. In this song, 2D begs to be brought back to a time when the Earth wasn't polluted, still filled with life and joy. The track is a thematic predecessor to Gorillaz' third album, Plastic Beach, which is filled with references to pollution and man-made destruction. Okay, produced by James Dring, Jason Cox, Danger Mouse. Let's see. Okay, somebody just putting the lyrics in here. Somebody said, I wonder if the title has anything to do with the Shakespearean concept of the green world. Somebody else said, I feel like this song has had some influence with David Bowie, especially through the Stardust era. Not familiar with David Bowie, so I would not know. Great song, Save the Earth. Yeah, and even in this idea of up here, I know you know me too, hope, sex, and drugs thrust into myself. It feels holy, it's fun when you're the father in the place you were. It says, hinting at spirituality, the idea of using a connection to God as an escape from the depressing state of reality. It's fun when you are the father in the place you were. I don't know, man. Again, feel free to share any insight you want along the way. I don't want to get too caught up on some specifics, but I do want to get, a fairly good grasp of what's going on here. All right, track 5 is called Dirty Harry, which I did see, and I don't know if I know the song because it said Clint Eastwood was one of their biggest songs, but it's funny to me that Clint Eastwood was on a previous project, and in here, track 5, they have a song called Dirty Harry, because obviously Clint Eastwood is Dirty Harry, the character. This is Dirty Harry featuring Bootie Brown. All right, Bootie Brown, let's hear it. Okay.
wanna do is dance.
Almost sounded like a bit of a revolt there at the end. Honestly, coming into this project, I was not expecting it to, I don't necessarily want to use the word heavy, but it's definitely dealing with some heavy content matter and ideas. As far as the idea of dancing, and I'm not familiar enough with the movie Dirty Harry. I know the character, but I'm not familiar with the movie. So I don't know if there's any tie in there. We might be able to find that out. But the idea of dancing while others are shooting, I wonder if it has to do with how, you know, people would shoot at somebody's feet and be like, dance, dance. And it's this place of control against someone else. You have the upper hand. And speaking, it seems like kind of in the song about those who are poor, those who have less, you could imagine maybe if it's the idea of a person in power being an oppressor to those who are less fortunate or those who are in need, kind of mistreating the poor. And maybe the thought is that that person who is being mistreated or used is like, well, I need a gun too to fight back. But I also wonder toward the end when it says, all I want to do is dance, could be calling back to a simpler time, or saying like, why do we have to have the world so ruled by greed that it just becomes this power struggle and we're kind of consumed with this idea of needing to fight back versus like just having the desire to live our lives in peace. I don't know. And then I want to look up what this Nimoy line was in a second. This has Gorillaz craft a single that examines war and soldiers, reminiscent of Jedi mind tricks' uncommon valor in its first-person look at the battlefield. Dirty Harry was the first Gorillaz release of Phase 2 when it appeared as a limited 12-inch white label vinyl promo with no band name or record label logo. That's cool. The song revisits some of the themes of earlier single Clint Eastwood, like violence and masculinity. Indeed, it's named after one of Eastwood's better-known films. The single art, too, is a cinematic reference, a parody of the poster for Stanley Kubrick's Vietnam movie Full Metal Jacket. We'll see if we can find that art in a second. So the Gorillaz said, Damon has explained that the lyric is, in fact, I need a gun to keep myself among. It's a kind of rhetorical thing. It's an anti-war song. If you look at Bootie Brown's lyrics, it's utterly and totally anti that. The whole record is a pacifist record. So the last line correct, or should it be from harm? From listening to it, it does sound like from harm. However, in a clip from Bananas, a documentary about Gorillaz, he explains that it is among, as explained above. Okay? Got a music video there. Somebody said, it's funny, I think I heard this song hundreds of times before I really started looking into the lyrics and just now realize how genius and good this is. Somebody said, we need a bath to keep ourselves among. All we do is bath. Somebody said, I think that the to keep myself among line is more clear in the demo of the song. I need a gun from Damon's album Democracy. Somebody said, I feel like this song is very closely connected with kids with guns, but I haven't seen anybody pointing this out, so I assume I've got the wrong idea. Let's go take a look. Oh, there's the art. Okay. So this says, contrary to popular belief, the line was confirmed to be, I need a gun to keep myself among rather than from harm. Soldiers need weapons to keep themselves from the violent insurgents of countries they've invaded. This line is a well-honed sense of irony. This album has some strong messages about the stuff that's wrong with the world. They claim one of those problems is constantly trying to solve violence with more violence. Nimoy. Some are seeking and searching like Nimoy. In Search Of is a television show starring the late actor Leonard Nimoy, most famous for his role as Spock in the original Star Trek. Okay. Which ran from 1976 to 82. Each episode, Nimoy would attempt to unravel pop culture mysteries like Bigfoot encounters or UFO sightings. Nimoy died at age 83 in 2015. In Search Of was given a reboot in 2018 starring Zachary Quinto. Though the new series did not receive as warm a reception as the old, it is an honorable homage nonetheless. So you can't conceal... Wait. Some are seeking and searching like Nimoy. Okay. That's good. Can't conceal the hate that consumes you. I'm the reason you fill up your Isuzu. I know it's a car. Since humanity is so dependent on petroleum fuel, many conflicts have broken out over its production and consumption. Okay. 90-day extension. I'm filled with guilt from things done and seen. Your water's from a bottle. Mine's from a canteen. Soldiers use canteens instead of water bottles. Out in the desert with my street sweeper. The war is over. I wonder if the street sweeper is a reference to a gun. Slang term for a high-powered automatic weapon, such as the one soldiers were equipped with during the Iraq War. The war is over, so said the speaker, with the flight suit on. Oh, okay. President Bush wearing a Navy flight suit as required safety gear. This image was taken aboard the USS Lincoln aircraft carrier after the president arrived in the co-pilot seat of an S-3 Viking. This line, as well as the one before it, is a reference to the 2003 speech in which Bush wore a flight suit when saying, "The war is over." Yeah, the war that feels like it never ended. Maybe to him, I'm just a pawn, so he can advance. Remember when I used to dance? Man, all I want to do is dance. In the context of the song, Bootie Brown used to be a dancer before being enlisted into the military. This is something he regrets and wishes to go back and stick to his dancing career. Okay. So Bootie Brown, let's take a look real quick. Bootie Brown, American rapper, one of the founding members of the Far Side. Through his career, he collaborated with The Roots, J Dilla, Gorillaz, and De La Soul, to name a few. So Bootie Brown, military. Bootie Brown, Romy Robinson, is primarily known as a founding member of the West Coast alternative hip-hop group for his famous collaboration with Gorillaz. In the music video, he plays the role of a military soldier coping with the realities of war. Aside from his acting role, Bootie Brown's connection to the military mostly stems from his frequent live touring and musical collaborations. Okay, so it doesn't sound like he actually did, but more so the character that's being played. All right, track 6. This is Feel Good Inc. I'm pretty sure this is one of the songs that I've heard before. Let's get in. Check it out. Yeah. Never paid attention to the lyrics though. Such a good sound.
Take it all out on your stride. It is taking falling down. Love forever, love is free. Let's turn forever, you and me. Windmill, windmill for the land. Is everybody in?
Laughing gas, these hazmats, fast cats, lining them up like ass crack. Ladies, ponies at the track, it's my chocolate attack. Shit, I'm stepping in harder this year. Yeah, bear repping in harder this year. Watch me as I gravitate. Ha 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 ha. Yo, we gon' ghost town, this Motown with your sound. You in the blink, gon' bite the dust, can't fight with us. With your sound, you kill the ink, so don't stop, get it, until you chat ahead and watch the way I navigate.
Windmill, windmill for the land, turn forever hand in hand. Take it all out on your stride. It is taking falling down. Love forever, love is free. Let's turn forever, you and me. Windmill, windmill for the land. Is everybody in?
Don't stop, get it. Deep high, your captain's in it. Steady, watch me navigate. Don't stop, get it. Deep high, your captain's in it. Steady, watch me navigate.
I love some of the rap collaborations on here, man. That was so good. Especially like that kind of rap that feels like this old school style, just old school hip hop. I'm not familiar with the artists on there, so it'd be interesting to look at those. All right, let's get in and take a look here. It says Feel Good Inc. is about criticism of herd mentality, isolation, and escapism. Yeah, I didn't understand the idea around the windmill, so we'll look at that. Unless it's a connection to like b-boy culture as the breakdancing move. I don't know. The music video features computer-generated imagery combined with 2D animation. The inspiration for the video game came from Hayao Miyazaki's 1986 animated film Castle in the Sky. That's one I have not watched yet. I love Studio Ghibli. I think it's Ghibli. Oh, sorry. Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro. The lead single from Demon Days peaked at number 2 in the United Kingdom and number 14 in the United States, being the only song in Damon Albarn's career to reach the Billboard Top 40. Not only that, but it won the band a Grammy for Best Pop Collaboration with Vocals, also being nominated for Best Record of the Year and Best Music Video. So, has the songwriter approved these lyrics? The only form of official lyrics we have to this song are the rock band vocals. That's so interesting. Keep in mind that the developers need to ask the studios for the separate tracks, guitar, bass, drums, and vocals, to include a song in the game so as to have one particular instrument going silent whenever a note is missed by the player. So it's very likely they also asked for the correct lyrics to the song. You can check them out here. Also, shout out to Rock Band. I never really played. I played a little bit of Rock Band. I played a lot of Guitar Hero. Also, if you listen to the live performances of Feel Good Inc., you'll notice Damon Albarn never gets the lyrics right as in the studio version. He probably adds some bits from the Noodles demo too. The point is that probably some lyrics are not so important to the artist himself. Listening to the a cappella track might also help. So in the music style in the chorus reminiscent of something, the Oxford Handbook of Music and Virtuality suggests that this portion of the song is reminiscent of the Kinks' Sunny Afternoon, callback to Britpop, where Albarn's voice seems most comfortable. Of course, the song received some awards. Gorillaz comment on the Grammy nominations. Okay, we'll probably look that up when we're going through the Patreon content. Feel Good Inc. produced by Danger Mouse, Jason Cox, and James Dring. Okay, somebody putting the lyrics in here. Okay, we'll see. This is a person's interpretation of the lyrics. So after the first section, they said, what the guy's talking about here is Feel Good Inc., how everyone there is bound to it, how it isn't bringing him happiness through material things, and how he suffers. Through the second section, he says, the dream comes in a place where he'll be happy to escape Feel Good Inc., which is, of course, the windmill, where there's no hedonism, just peace. This is due because if you think of the floating island, it's small, has one person and a windmill, which probably reminds you of rural areas. Here yeah, I mean, that sounds right. I guess if the idea of Feel Good Inc. is all of the material things, the superficial things that we try to satisfy ourselves with, which those things have their place, but if they become everything to us and all we are consumers, then which has kind of proven its way in society, we end up more depressed, less healthy, less fulfilled than if we're able to, within the culture we live in. Because some of us, obviously we live in different places all around the world. Some of us live in more rural areas. Some of us live in more urban areas. But it doesn't matter where you live in the world. The context in which you live, or whether you chose to escape those things or you're kind of in the midst of them, we all have the ability to tap into the things that really matter in life and not get caught up in what I'm assuming here they're saying is Feel Good Inc. Kind of this idea of the factory that's just supposed to be like, do this, take this, watch this. This will make you feel good. Whereas a windmill, generally you're going to find in this more peaceful, more removed place. So I like that. Down in the third section, it says here the navigator, Captain Rapper, makes fun of him for wanting to leave. He's also making fun of his melancholic music style as well. Another symbolism here is the fact he's a rapper, Captain Navigator, which might be a criticism of rappers navigating people in the wrong direction into hedonism. Maybe even navigating the music industry in the wrong direction. It says in this third section, he ignores the rapper, keeps dreaming of escape. The rapper mocks him again, telling him he can't do anything to stop him, probably meaning there's no stopping the rap culture that is hurting the music industry and society. Or if it's just the idea of Feel Good Inc. as a whole, the voice of that pushing forward is almost like I'm too big for you to stop me. Which, ultimately, culture is kind of like a wave, but each individual gets to decide if they want to ride that wave. And so there are some things that are just these big movements that in some ways you don't feel like you can stop. Maybe a good, as of 2026, of filming this kind of AI and how it's moving into every arena of life. And I think there are some good uses of it, but it is the Pandora's box, right? That we do as people. We create this thing, we open this thing up, but we don't ultimately know how it's going to affect us as people until we get further down the road. But in the midst of that wave coming across, you do have some opportunity to decide how you're going to engage, if you're going to engage. And, if you are a parent, like I am at this stage in my life, I have 3 children, 15, 13, and 10. I turn 30, how old? I turned 38 this year. Okay, I couldn't remember if I turned 38 or 39. And so, for me, I am in some ways this bulwark to my children. And so I have to be conscious of what's going on, because then it's upon me to decide what I put in their hands, right? Somebody said, I don't think De La Soul is attacking Feel Good Inc. I think that he's supposed to represent the corporation or industry. He's celebrating the hedonism and excess it provides and telling Tootie to join in and participate. Yeah, I think that's kind of what this person was breaking down. Very cool, man. It's another one of those like pop songs that you just, or not, it's not necessarily pop, but one of those songs that just kind of hits the mainstream, that has such a good beat and feel to it that unless you take a little bit of a deeper look, you don't fully know what's going on with it. All right, let's jump in. Track 7. This is El Mañana. This is such a chill album. There's one thing I wanted to go look at that I think is happening up here with the acoustic guitar that I thought was really interesting. Also, the drum pattern in this song is really incredible too. Always interested in listening out for different drums because I tend to get stuck in like the same pattern with drums. But the acoustic guitar is super tight. Hold on. Okay, I thought what I was hearing was the acoustic, but I think it's the drum pattern that's in here that they're using. Because there is this thing you can do in Logic. Let's just say I was doing a full strum. And I don't know what the effect is called. I could find it if I went looking. But essentially you can cut out certain parts based on the settings that you use. So maybe if you just wanted the top end, everything that's like, you know, up, if you think about a sound wave, so and you can set this thing to where it'll basically clip out. So only if something peaks past a certain point. So that's what I thought they were doing, was maybe setting something like that. So you kind of got these like off patterns of just like chuck, 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 chuck. But it sounds like it was more so just the drum pattern. So false alarm. I'm trying to figure out with Gorillaz, because obviously they're trying to communicate something through this project, but I also, like one of the other comments said earlier, feel like maybe they're one of the bands as well, and this is true of many bands, that the lyrics aren't always central, meaning to like look really deeply into every lyric and every word isn't what their intention is versus just trying to communicate a feeling. While at the same time, I do feel like most people still are trying to communicate something, though. There's some genesis to all lyrics, even if the genesis is, nah, I just wanted to put a bunch of gobbledygook together and just thought it sounded good. There was one song that I was working on writing that really just came from the thought of having to do yard work in the summer. And pretty much you get to this point to where you're having to cut the grass, at least where I live, almost every single week. To keep it at a maintained place. And I just started thinking about this idea of constantly needing to upkeep with stuff, and that even being a bigger narrative on culture as a whole, just more. It needs constant attention, constant care. And so, you know, if somebody were to ask me, because the lyrics have nothing to do with cutting grass, but if somebody were to say, well, what's that about? I would say, well, it kind of comes from this place is where I first thought about it. And then obviously it kind of evolves from there. So that being said, though, even in a song like that, I would be communicating something very clear but I do feel like there's kind of a lot of play in their lyrics, not necessarily needing to dissect everything super closely, but I could be wrong. This says El Mañana, 7th track on Demon Days album, released as a single. El Mañana is Spanish for the future or the near future. However, mañana by itself can be translated as tomorrow, which is why you see like hasta mañana. Leaving certain people to believe the title translated to English is the tomorrow, despite this being proven false. In the music video, we see the Windmill Island from Feel Good Inc. being destroyed. The fictional band member Noodle purposely made to look as if she was deceased. So the Gorillaz said, here's a quote from Damon about the song before it came out. Apparently it's from an interview with Rolling Stone, Latin America, and translated from Spanish. So it might sound a bit wonky. There is a new song that's called El Mañana, a Spanish name, and I believe that brings together some ideas. My daughter is going to a Spanish school because I love this culture, and I want her to speak in Spanish and to live with Latin culture. That seems vital to me. The language has influenced me. I picked this title because mañana in Castilian means many things. The future, the dawn, the morning. It has many levels. It's a song that's sad but optimistic because in order to make something positive, you have to move away from the negative. If our present is negative, at some point, there's a duty to try to stop it being that way. We're not going to sing hymns to naive happiness for this, but the future is our responsibility, and Gorillaz is our contribution to the mañana, to the future, to the tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, I mean, obviously he has a very clear message that he's trying to convey. What is Castilian? Castilian most commonly refers to the Spanish language, specifically the standard dialect originating from the historical Castile region of central and northern Spain. Broadly, it designates the culture, people, or dialect of this era. Okay. So let's hop back in here. Produced by Jason Cox, James Dring, and Danger Mouse. Some of the comments say people are bringing religion into this when besides a few references to Lord, there's barely any reason to do so. This song's about 2D, him trying to cope with witnessing what he believed to be Noodle's death, the resulting wave of depression from the loss of a dear friend. I said this song isn't about Noodle. Gorillaz rarely seem to write from the perspective of the characters themselves. It's more genuine to write from your own experience. The whole Gorillaz timeline seems more like an added extra than a component of the music itself to me. This song was also written before the video was made. Somebody said the lyrics are hard to understand from this album. It's unbelievable. Whenever I hear Damon perform one of these songs, they're overrun by improvised lyrics here and there. It's like he did not even try to remember them. To be fair, El Mañana was written in like 15 minutes. It does give a feeling of mystery, though. Looking back over the lyrics, Summer don't know me no more. He got mad, tiresome. Summer don't know me. He just let me low in myself. 'Cause I do know love. So this could be the idea of maybe summer is in like sunshine. If we're talking about a song dealing with some sort of depression or trying to move on. 'Cause I do know love from you then just dying. I saw that day, lost my mind, Lord, I'm fine. Maybe in time you'll want to be mine. Don't stop the bud when it comes. The new growth, maybe? It's the dawn you'll see, like the start of something new. Money won't get there, 10 years passed and now you'll flee. If you do that, I'll be sworn to find you. Interesting. We'll look at one thing here. So he then goes to the idea of going with the flow. Don't hold things dear, caged. It's confusing until you read the next line. He suggests money is one of the objects. Don't hold on to your money. You can't take it with you. It won't get you to paradise. It also won't bring you happiness. Additionally, 10 years past tonight may allude to how 2D feels that what's hurting him is causing him to feel as if he's aging faster due to the extreme trauma of the experience. The line also may be referring to seemingly endless numb feelings we experience when someone we love dies. It feels as if time stands still, wherein one night can feel like 10 years. Wow, that's really insightful. Okay, track 8, Every Planet We Reach is Dead.
My way, so no loose ends, nothing to see me down. How are we going to work this out? Dreams are bad, our heads are mad. I love the girl, but God only knows it's getting hard.
I love the punchy piano. It's almost got this like jazzy funk feel.
Picture I'm a dreamer, I'll take you deeper down to the sleepy glow. Time is low, don't you know? What are we going to do? We go down all the sacred selfless lays.
Yeah, it has very much like a jazz lounge feel. Oh, got a big instrumental section. Wouldn't surprise me if we got to switch up. Oh yeah, it's super jazzy. That was cool. Like kind of hearing the jazz influence early on, but then it like went super jazz. It does make me curious. Is Damon one of these guys that plays every single instrument? What, Damon Albarn? Wait, so let's do this. What instruments does Damon Albarn play? Everything, I'm sure. Highly versatile multi-instrumentalist. His primary instruments are vocals, keyboard, synths, guitar. Beyond the basics, he frequently plays bass, drums, melodica, organ, recorder across his extensive discography with bands like Blur and Gorillaz. I'm also surprised at how much he's singing, because I always had this thought in my mind that Gorillaz was pretty much reliant, not necessarily reliant, or leaned heavily upon others to feature. So I always thought that they were more of like the musical composers and then utilized other artists and features to actually do the singing. But obviously that's not the case whatsoever. So here, Every Planet We Reach is Dead. It's about a lost relationship with Mother Nature, the girl who's mentioned in the lyrics. Its general message is relevant to other songs on the album, such as Oh Green World and Fire Coming Out of the Monkey's Head, As Demon Days, it's about humanity's self-destruction, the perversion of natural things. The sight of Mother Nature, though still beautiful, is now eclipsed by civilization. That's a really good line. The song's title suggests that every new place humanity reaches is not already dead, but rather doomed to be. Wow. We're destined to kill all that we touch. The track is organ-driven, rhythmical, with a melancholy feel. The song famously features one of the last appearances from music legend Ike Turner, who contributed to the piano solo before his death in 2007. Wow. Yeah, I was thinking like, dude, I was assuming Damon can really play the keys, which I'm sure he can, but that was another level. So produced Jason Cox, James String, Danger Mouse. Somebody said, I don't really get why people keep making up these kind of relationships between Gorillaz members. Can't they just be what they are, partners and friends? Anyway, the whole thing about 2D and Noodle is not an actual fact, not even a fact. So that means meaning, which was given to the last phrase, incorrect for more than one reason. Obviously, they're speaking to the annotations. Somebody said, yeah, seriously, I'm pretty sure these songs aren't made based on the story of the Gorillaz' endeavors. He said Noodle wrote this song, which means it's about being gay, loving girls. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Okay. So, differing opinions for sure. Which I feel like that really only comes with the territory of having a band that has lore and all these other things. I found that very much to be true with Sleep Token. From my experience with Sleep Token, and I know some people are very passionate about the lore. When it came to 21 Pilots, I really dug into the lore because the lore is very intentional from the band. The fans, the clique, have added things that the guys have actually incorporated in the lore, but they've provided plenty of information to give a fairly straightforward. I mean, there's like all these letters they released in the music videos, in the lyrics, that there's a very clear thing going on there. It's not much of a secret. There's a city called Dima. There are these rebels that are the Banditos. You have this group that rules, that are called the Bishops. And so there are all these different things within there. When it came to Sleep Token, there's kind of like one interview where the lead singer Vessel talks about this deity Sleep that comes to him and says, write songs for me. But other than that, there really isn't anything within their lyrics to lean toward lore. So it's all fan made. And so with Gorillaz and it being this thing that obviously there is lore there, people are going to just run rampant with it. So I take everything I read here as kind of like suggestions. I prefer when I get to hear things specifically in interviews or written material straight from the band. So just so you know, as I'm reading through all of this, I'm kind of just like taking stuff in and hearing different opinions and things like that. All right, let's jump into track number 9. This is titled November Has Come, and it has a feature with MF Doom.
Slow it down some, no split, clown bum, your gold hit sound dumb, hold it now, crown them, where you found them at, got them round town, could've drowned in it, would've floated, bloated, voted, sugar-coated, loaded, hip shooter, draw for the poor, free, coffee at the banks, hit through the straw, none more for me, thanks, that blanks the roar, that dank sure stank lit, sank past the pit for more hardcore prank spit, crank it on blast, roll past Front Street, blew the whole spot like some old ass with skunk meat, these kids is too fast, juiced off a junk tree. Who could get looser off a crunk or a funk beat?
Something started today. Where did it go? Why you want it to be? Where you know November has come. It's gone away. Something started today. Where did it go?
a spigot. My guess is yes, you can. Like, can I kick it wicked? Lick a shot if you happy and you know it as you clap your hands to the thick snot of a poet flowing. Rope a pen and I'm in. Cope hymen, dope a rhyming, more worth than the hope diamond acquired off the black market. A wire tapping couldn't target a jar spit. The rapid fire spark lit. Zit. A rapper bug zapper, and it don't matter after if there's a thug or dapper. Plug your trap or it's maximum exposure. The beast got family members asking them for closure. Send them a gun and tell them clean it. Then go get the nun who said her son didn't mean it. She wore a filled-in thong or billabong and said, nah, for real, I'm a villain, I'm a gorilla John.
Something is starting today. Where did he go? Why you wanted to be where you know November has come? When it's gone away. Something is starting today. Where did he go? Why you wanted to be where you know November has come? When it's gone away. When it's gone away.
I don't know specifically what they're speaking about here, but I love that idea. You know November has come when it's gone away. It reminds me of like the phrase, you don't know a good thing until it's gone. Like by the time you recognize it, it's already passed. And MF Doom did a great job on here. I don't know if I've listened to MF Doom, possibly within a mixtape, but I have seen his name in a lot of the comments, things you guys want me to get to. So this says, November has come, 9th track. Song touches on the state of hip-hop, dives into more abstract themes such as the end of the world, the coming apocalypse. In MF Doom's verses, he laments the fall of popular hip-hop. He's not saying the medium is dead, but the glory days have come and gone. In 2D's chorus, he states that November has come, it's almost December, in other words, almost the end. That's really interesting. I mean, I guess a form of hip-hop, a certain part of it, but obviously we know rap and hip hop in general has evolved and is still very much alive, but in many ways, you know, has a different sound than it did in the beginning. Rest in peace to MF Doom. Did MF Doom pass away? MF Doom, oh, he passed in 2020. The stage name of British-American rapper, songwriter, record producer Daniel Dumille was known for his trademark use of old, absurd samples from movies, cartoons, and music. Flexible flow's ability to adapt to any beat made him a favorite among other rappers. Okay, I didn't know he passed. Cause of death. Age of 49, he passed away due to angioedema, a severe reaction to prescribed blood pressure medication that caused sudden swelling in his throat and tongue, leading to a lack of oxygen to his brain. Man, that's sad. A complication from a medication that's supposed to be helpful. Jeez. Okay, let's see what others said here. Somebody said to the line, then go get the nun who said her son didn't mean it. Says this is an extremely loaded line. Generally, when the news goes after a teenage shooting suspect, whether it's for murder or attempted homicide, the moms always come to the defense of their kids saying something along the lines of, oh no, not my baby, or he's a good kid, honest. Speaks volumes about gun violence, gang culture in black communities, is meant to bring to light the disconnect between the supposed family values of shooting suspects and their actual actions. Somebody linked some news articles. Somebody said November, Novem equals 9. Also the 9th track, it gets scarier. The square root of 9 is 3. Illuminati confirmed. Somebody else said it's basically an analogy of duality between the family values, their actual actions. This is how odd it is for a nun to be wearing a thong, as well as how odd it is for MF Doom to be on the track with the Gorillaz. Having a son would be out of character for a nun, which is the point. Okay. Interesting. But no, I love that line, man. November has come Well, you know November has come when it's gone away. Look at a few of these. This says in October we have Halloween, one of the most popular holidays. After October, November comes with no holidays. What about Thanksgiving? Maybe this is a reference from somebody who doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. It's a metaphor for the best is ended. Somebody said, no, after November comes December with another holiday, Christmas. Most people enjoy Christmas even more than Halloween. Maybe it means the good times are over, but we can come back to our peak even better. Not sure if it was intended or anything. I just noticed it. Okay. Just people adding notes, but, you know, pretty big holiday there in November. Okay. Track 10 is titled All Alone, featuring Martina Topley-Bird and Roots Manuva. I got books of the Bible here.
Leviticaso, Deuteronomy. Snatch a piece of my pondering. This didn't fall like yondering. Skin of my tooth like, skin of my boot like, flying my suit like. Where's the waitress? Can't take this, really can't face this. These hairs and all these graces. It's my mistake, I make it. Shade up to the boom, now make it. Bounce, wiggle, shake it on them veins out. Camel cool cutthroats, bound to blow the brain out. Cut to the brain, this ain't no game. I show no shame. I birth this pain. I twist the cane, I twist the game. I push the blame, it's plain as day. Known to what these sayers say, known to what these doers do. It's you and who and you know where. We's about to take it there. We's about to make it clear. We happy on we lonesome. The lone drum, the beat.
I love UK rap.
10 spoons of spinach, the soul and the spinach, the cup that runneth over. We turn up the ogre.
Close your eyes and see when there ain't no light. Oh, you'll ever be. Come and save the night. 'Cause I don't leave. When the morning comes, it doesn't seem to say enough to me.
Well, I definitely feel like I've confirmed that this is one of those albums that you kind of have to like experience multiple times to really soak in everything that's going on here. which I'm fine with, and I've just kind of had to come to grips with the kind of first listen through a lot of these songs. I'm having trouble like holding all the pieces together. Let's get in here and take a look. I'm curious at this artwork at the top. Okay. Looks like a bunch of shoes left. It's weird because these look like kind of windows. What are they? Are these those like hotels that you stay in the, like, I forget what it's called. You stay in like a little compartment with all the shoes left outside of them. But you have this one that's open. All Alone, hard-hitting track about British rapper Roots Manuva overcoming his sense of self-doubt through furious and spirited action. All right, got a lot of same producers here. Somebody said, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, sound familiar? Push the blade can either mean that this is about the abuse of soulless, artificial, feel-good, chemical romance fastball, or pushing the limits of what and who you are versus being what's expected. The morning doesn't come, especially when you are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Metaphorically speaking, the passages of the written word are meant to be taken personally, but since most of the scribes have been redistributed to suit the calls of the time, it'll take all you'll ever be to create a meaning that works for you and you alone, that in itself seems to say an awful lot to me. Okay, looks like more people correcting the lyrics. 10 spoons of spinach. Somebody's really impressed by that line. Let's go take a look. No, I don't want yours. I want the previous. Here we go. So Popeye, reference the 1933 cartoon Popeye the Sailor. The main character Popeye was famous for becoming absurdly strong after consuming spinach. So we's about to make it clear we happy on we lonesome. The long jump, the beat heart, it's start to finish. 10 spoons of spinach, the soul and the spillage. The cup that runneth over, return of the ogre. So my cup runneth over, quote from Psalm 23, have your cup runneth over. Overflow means to have such a wealth of goodness in your life that you can't hold it all in, causing it to spread all around you, which could tie in, obviously, this idea of strength. Is this a reference to himself? The return of the ogre is most likely a nod to the Gorillaz 2006 autobiography, Gorillaz Rise of the Ogre. Yeah, I'd have to go back before that because the album came out before the book. Which could have been an early, which could have been an early development during the release of Demon Days being an autobiography. It was written by the cartoon bandmates with the help of Cass Brown, a friendly drummer. Since Demon Days is the second studio album, it marks the second coming of the beast, while the book tracks the first. So is the ogre, what is the ogre in Gorillaz? The context of the virtual band Gorillaz, the term ogre refers to the enormous metaphorical shadow of the band's massive success, the wild, uncontainable creative beast the project became during the early 2000s. Okay. Manuva closes his verse with the line, the cup that runneth over, symbolizing the triumphant return of the band's larger-than-life presence. This says the song O Green World is stylized as a pun on Ogre World, pointing to the overwhelming, swampy monster of modern celebrity and environmental decay in the Gorillaz universe. The Tale of the Ogre. Okay. Track 11. This is titled White Light. Ever since starting this channel, I have fallen back in love with physical media, vinyls and CDs in particular, which is why I'm really excited to be an affiliate with vinyl.com. You can browse an extensive library of beautiful vinyls, CDs, accessories, and more. And as a partner of this channel, vinyl.com is offering 10% off for anyone who uses my code malnourished at checkout. You can also check the description for a link or scan the QR code on the screen. The transition into that was cool. Such a switch up into the soft acoustic. Heavenly choir. Maybe the idea that alcohol is like a savior to some. Okay, this actually is one of my favorite tracks on the album. I'm not 100% sure, but what I feel like they're trying to say is like, you know, how people move toward the white light. It is this thing of salvation. It's alluring. You could even think of it as the anglerfish that has the light on the front of their head. The whole point is that in the darkness, it draws its prey to it. And fitting in with the album of certain ailments with humanity, alcohol is obviously one of the most destructive forces on the face of the earth. I think it 100% can be used in moderation, but it is also an extremely destructive force. And for many, it acts like this drawing force, and in some ways, this thought of like this savior. And so I find it interesting, if this is what they were intending, is to move into that kind of soft acoustics, the heavenly choir. It is this feeling of like, oh, it is this place of heaven for me. But then after they kind of go through the lyrics again, there's this very disorienting type feeling with the music that could be the idea of replicating that disorienting feeling that people have under the influence of alcohol. So let's go check out and see what all is going on here. Okay. The art there shares the same themes as George Jones's White Lighting. White Light features a rather fast-paced theme, a rather fitting one, as it's shown to have lyrics related to alcohol. The band's autobiography features the virtual band member Noodle stating the following. This song is about the relentless fury of alcohol, the focused drive and singular thirst that kind of desire creates. One man's passion is another man's addiction. Alcohol is one of the ways we suppress our indecisions. So yeah, I think the intention is kind of what I was feeling. Which in that case, I think, honestly, this is a standout on the album for me. Somebody said I thought it said echo, not alcohol. Somebody said, contrary to popular belief, this track's vocals are supposed to be Murdoch Nichols. the animated band's bassist. It's been confirmed in the Gorillaz autobiography. Yeah. That whole idea of the messaging behind it, as well as the way in which they went about it, for me is a super creative decision. And for that, so far, it's one of my favorite tracks on this album. Okay, track 12 is titled Dare, featuring Shaun, Ryder, and Rose's Gabor. It's in all caps, so I wonder if it's going to be connected to the, what is it, the anti-drug movement? I remember in school, Dare, what was it, Dare not to do drugs or something? Let's see, Dare Drug Abuse Resistance Education. So, we'll see if it's connected to that. It doesn't have the periods to create a, what's it called? Dang it. Of course. I have to look so stupid. What's it called? The abbreviation. What's it called when organizations are abbreviated by letters? Acronym. Jeez. Thank you. Hey, you try. You try just doing this off the cuff, okay? You forget the easiest of things. Here we go. This is Dare.
He's coming out, 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 he's coming out. It's there.
Cool. Oh, might get me dancing. Don't think it has anything to do with the drugs and alcohol. But I don't know, could be. Man, I really love the sound on this one. It reminds me, I don't know if it would be 70s. I think probably the 70s. It reminds me of that. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? That song. Let's get in here and see. Dare, also stylized as Dare, was released on August 2005. Second single. Manchester rock band Happy Monday's own Shaun Ryder. In the overall narrative of Demon Days, Dare takes place after the general depression spanning from Feel Good to White Light. Importantly, it's sung by Noodle rather than 2D. This is likely meant to convey the sense of a second perspective. Noodle's lines tell 2D that if he's so distraught over the current state of the world, he should take action because all he does is whine about it. The song's title supposedly came about due to Ryder's thick Mancunian accent from like Manchester. So maybe Mancunian. He was unable to say the phrase "it's there," which was the song's original title, so it was simply changed to Dare. Okay. The music video mainly features Noodle, who has Shaun Ryder's head in her closet hooked up with wires and tubes. Noodle flicks a switch and she dances around her room as the music plays. Noodle says, "I'm not sure if the rest of the band mind that I'm the star of this video, but whatever. I mean, I saw way too much of Murdoch showing off in the Feel Good Inc. video, and I thought that the boys misbehaved badly in it. As I said, it's my song, you know. I wrote it, so I can choose who's going in the video and how it's going to be made. In fact, when we started shooting the video, I didn't actually tell any of the band that we had begun. You can see 2D listening through the floorboards, unaware of what is happening, and Russell's on the toilet with the newspaper, also wondering what the noise is." So Gorillaz said, "I love Shaun Ryder," this is Damon. "During the whole Oasis thing, he and Bernard Sumner were the only two who cared about what I was going through." What's the Oasis? One of the most decorated artists in the 90s. For the best part of 2 decades, Oasis were an instantly recognizable part of British culture. Okay, hold on. They went on to have a much publicized rivalry with Blur, and despite losing the biggest singles chart battle in British history, they would go on to win the war, becoming global stars with What's the Story, Morning Glory, which includes arguably the biggest hit, Wonderwall. Original drummer Tony McCarroll was sacked prior to recording the second album. Is that like the Wonderwall? I can't even think of how the song sounds, but I obviously am familiar with the word Wonderwall, so maybe that's the Wonderwall I'm thinking of. So he and Bernard Sumner were the only two who cared about what I was going through, being constantly taken the piss out of by Noel and Liam Gallagher. How can you fight when you've got the tabloids and a working class attitude on your back? You're finished. But Shaun was really sweet to me and made me feel a whole lot better about it, because I did get quite upset about it. So was selecting Shaun karma in action then? Yeah, definitely. From a 2019 interview, NME asked, "What was the original name of your Gorillaz collaboration? Dare?" Shaun Ryder said it was always called Dare. Look, there's 2 versions of this story. There's mine and whichever one Damon ever tells. The way I remember it, I was invited down to do the Gorillaz thing and try to write something. I walked in and was trying to get them to adjust the headphone level, saying, "It's going up, it's going up." And in my text speak, I go, "It's der there. It's der." Then Damon said, "Stop, do that again." There was never a working title. NME said, "If you say so, it's been claimed the song was originally called It's There, but was changed due to your strong Mancunian accent making it sound like you were saying it's dare." Shaun said, "That's an urban myth. Don't forget, I'm dyslexic and I've been writing in this text since I was 4 years old. Are you okay? Before. It's dare. Now we're all finally coming around to how I've been writing all my life." Interesting. There's a video. When you're drunk but still want to sing. It's dare. How is this so good? I still don't understand it. All right, very interesting. Moving into track 13, Fire Coming Out of the Monkey's Head.
Once upon a time, at the foot of a great mountain, there was a town where the people known as happy folk lived. Their very existence a mystery to
Foreshadowing
the world,
of the mountain?
obscured as it was by great clouds. Here they played out their peaceful lives,
This is cool.
innocent of the litany of excess and violence that was growing in the world below. To live in harmony with the spirit of the mountain called Monkey was enough. Then one day,
Like a volcano?
strange folk arrived in the town. They came in camouflage, hidden behind dark glasses, but no one noticed them. Only
Soldiers?
saw shadows. You see, without the truth of the eyes, the happy folk were blind.
Falling out,
Ignorance is bliss.
hiding out in holes.
Wow.
The sunset took on people going home. Jump out from behind them and shoot them in the head. Now everybody dancing.
Wow.
The dance of the dead. The dance of
Heartbreaking
the
song.
dead. The dance of the dead.
In time, the strange folk found their way into the higher reaches of the mountain, and it was there that they found the caves of unimaginable sincerity and beauty. By chance, they stumbled upon the place where all good souls come to rest. The strange folk, they coveted the jewels in these caves above all things, and soon they began to mine the mountain.
Uh-oh.
Its rich scene fueling the chaos of their own world. Meanwhile, down in the town, the happy folks slept restlessly, their dreams invaded by shadowy figures digging away at their souls. Every day, people would wake and stare at the mountain. Why was it bringing darkness into their lives? And as the strange folk climbed deeper and deeper into the mountain, holes began to appear, bringing with them a cold and bitter wind that chilled the very soul of the monkey. For the first time, the happy folk felt fearful, for they knew that soon the monkey would stir from its deep sleep. Then there came a sound, distant at first, that grew into a cacophony so immense that it could be heard far away in space. There were no screams. There was no time.
Oh, wow.
Had spoken. There was only fire. And then nothing.
Oh, a little town in USA, time has come to see. There's nothing you believe you want. But where were you when it all came down on me? Did you call me out?
Yeah, I think for the most part, this album can play through pretty much smoothly, transitioning into each track. That was so cool. I haven't heard anything like that before. And it kind of gives me hope that maybe I can do something like that in music. Because I don't have a good singing voice. I have a pretty decent talking voice, so I've been told. Man, that's so cool. This is one of my favorite things on the album so far. And especially the story, right? Because you kind of have this idea of this people, right? These peaceful people. And then it seems like from underneath them, these insurgents, these, there's kind of like war from beneath them that's invading. And so they've been living in this kind of a people untouched by violence. But then you have those that went up into the mountain, into the caves, and there were all struck by wealth and jewels and infatuated by it. And then obviously this mountain is a volcano, and the volcano erupts and destroys everyone. So I don't fully know what was trying to be communicated kind of at the closing of it, but what a cool story. Let's check this out. Track is a parable narrated by actor Dennis Hopper. The story is about grim events that occur when a covetous people crave the jewels inside a mountain near a tribe of innocents. It follows Demon Days' central theme of humankind's destructive nature, loosely based on the war for oil. Somebody said Damon said that came from a very naive idea, which is, what is going to happen when they've taken all of the oil out of the earth? Aren't there going to be these vast holes? Surely those holes should be empty. Surely there's a reason why they had all of this in. It's like bad plastic surgery. Eventually it collapses. Wow. So it's almost like the thirst and the lust to delve into the mountains is what caused it to become unstable. Somebody said, is it just me or is this whole album, and especially this particular song, a metaphor for the war in the Middle East? This says, the mountain called Monkey may be a metaphor for the three wise monkeys. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. That's why the happy folk didn't see the strange folk. They were evil. And the happy folk cannot see evil because they're influenced by the spirit of the mountain. Really cool. It also makes me think of one of my favorite books. Give me 5 seconds. More than 5 seconds. I thought it was right here. Oh, here it is. John Steinbeck, The Pearl, super tiny book, so everybody should read it. I'm telling you, you'll be on the edge of your seat. It's so small, you could almost read it in one sitting, but I won't spoil anything, but the beginning of the book is all led off by this small village and these very poor people getting ready to have a baby, and he is a pearl diver, and he finds a pearl of great value, and the story kind of just goes from there, but it's definitely a commentary on the corruption of wealth and not only what it can do to you and even disrupt the peace that you're living in, even though you were better off when you were feeling like you didn't have much, but he had his wife and soon to be child, or either they just had the child, I can't remember. But it not only speaks to how the wealth can corrupt you, but also what it begins to do in other people as well. So John Steinbeck, The Pearl, get it. I'll try to even put a link in it down in the description if I can remember to, because I think it's a commentary that every single person should read. And a great introduction to John Steinbeck as an author as well. Okay, this is track 14, Don't Get Lost in Heaven. Wow. Let's let the final track play and then we'll revisit both of them. Wow. It's like they're really just kind of painting the picture of everything they were sharing throughout the album. Cool how they capitalized in two. Okay. I thought it was cool in track 14 as well, the idea of the mountain. They kind of took it from this folklore type tale and immediately brings it into like coming to the mountain and there's somebody like crack on the corner or something like that they said that they kind of bring it into our physical world, and then they carry that on with this final track to really just point out some of the things they were trying to communicate within the album. Let's go look at track 14, and then I have some thoughts on track 15. So this says, let's go look at this art. Okay, hyenas and baboons tied up. Interesting. This song is a prelude to Demon Days, the next track on the album. The track is also an epilogue to the events that transpired in the previous song. From the book, it says, an homage to Brian Wilson's genius for vocal arrangement, Don't Get Lost is a gleaming confection of choir, piano, and glockenspiel. If Sunshine had a sound, this would be it, displaying a warm-hearted recreation of the Beach Boys' signature layered choral sound. Official songbook says you're a hoe girl. Yeah, you're a hobo. Much deeper meaning than I thought. All right, let's take a look at it for a second. So I got off a plane to the countryside, drove to the mountain in a hole in the ground. There was crack on the corner and someone dead. 2D seems to be describing a modern city full of drugs, murder, contrasting the previous line of a plane to the countryside. Still, assuming he wasn't lying in the first line and really is in the countryside, it may be that the corruption of the city spread and infected the idyllic country where he's resting. Obviously, the fire coming out of the monkey's head, the volcanic explosion. Don't get lost in heaven. Don't get lost in a drugged haze of personal delusion. Don't keep striving for something that may not exist. Don't go over the edge. You'll make a big mistake. In a symbolic sense, the narrator may be referring to an addiction. Don't go past what you can control. It's a mistake. If you get addicted, it can and will ruin your life. Put me in a cab to suburbia. I just took a line, but it wasn't with you. 2D, the narrator is a person addicted to crack cocaine. Their lover, the person they're speaking to, has presumably left the narrator because of his addiction. Yeah, because obviously I thought this when I heard it. He took a line, but it wasn't with you. I'm assuming that's speaking to the addiction, right? Because no longer is he doing it with somebody else. He's doing it on his own, which is a sign that an addiction is setting in. It's not just about like having fun with somebody, even though I wouldn't, do cocaine or whatever as your own or with somebody else, for fun. But I think the idea, it's like, it's not just a party thing we do together. Like it's something I just do on my own now. You're a hoe girl. Yeah, you're a hobo. 2D may be talking about Paula, his girlfriend at the time. She was found cheating with Murdoch, kicked out of Gorillaz. Okay. And then let's go check out track 15, Demon Days. So the title and ending track, the album talks a lot about negative aspects of modern life, from the Iraq War, global pollution, to the plastic nature of an overly monetized music industry. Represents today's era as being the Demon Days. This track is a really uplifting end. It makes the case that although things are bad, there's always time to recognize the evils of the world and improve your life. From the Rise of the Ogre book, it says the light at the end of the tunnel, the dawn after the longest night of the soul, based around the same chords as Don't Get Lost, allowing the two songs to become one glorious crescendo, a real musical climax that guides the listener into a far more optimistic climate. Noodle says, as with the previous track, the vocal harmonies were provided by the London Community Gospel Choir. It's the final relief, the hope, the rapture, and the reward for the journey. 2D says, you remember when you were a little kid, you look at the clouds in the sky as the sunlight bounced off of them, and something that simple would make you feel a part of everything and all alone at the same time. And that feeling's not something you can ever put into words, so you spend your whole life chasing it, making music, taking pictures, painting, whatever, in the hope that other people will understand that sense or feeling. As creative entities, we look for signs of life outside ourselves for a connection to, alleviate the sense of solitude. That's why we all do what we do, whether we know it of ourselves or not. All right, same producers. Epic. Loved this album in 05. Love it more in 2019. Well, hello from 2026. It's one of the first and best albums I ever bought. Didn't think the lyrics made much sense till now. They're actually really good. Yeah, I think I wanted to speak to the ideas up here. So, right, it's cold inside. You don't get nobody. People sigh. It's so bad, lasting far, but love yourself. And then in this demon days, we're so cold inside, hard for a good soul to survive. You can't even trust the air you breathe because Mother Earth wants us all to leave. So then you get into all these, bad things. So turn yourself around. Don't burn yourself. Turn yourself around to the sun. And then these lines to the sun, to the good things. Because the thing I wanted to speak to is, it's like, so there's a book in the Bible, the book of Esther. And just a quick synopsis. Esther is a Jewish woman. The king is frustrated by his wife because she kind of stood up to him, presented herself to him unannounced. And so he goes looking for another wife. And they basically gather all these virgins from the surrounding areas, and Esther becomes one of them. And they're kind of going through this regiment to be presented to the king, and he would choose one of them. And so there's another man, Naaman, who ultimately has this scheme to kill all of the Jews. And the king doesn't know that Esther, is a Jew. And so anyways, it's a long story, but ultimately her uncle Mordecai comes to her and says, don't think that you were given this place just for yourself, just so you can get by, so you can be saved. Ultimately, he's saying you have to use this place of influence that you have to bring about good for many. And he's wanting her to go present herself to the king, but he hasn't called for her. And ultimately, that could result in her death if she were to go present herself to the king unannounced. And yet, the line, and you've probably heard it before, it says, "For such a time as this." And the whole point is, this place that you were given, it's for such a time as this. All of this is coming together for you to go and do something meaningful, even at the cost of your own life. You've got to put yourself on the line to help many. And so ultimately she does, and Naaman's plan is found out, and he's killed, and Mordecai is exalted to a place of honor, and the people are saved. And all that being said, I think for me, one of the things it speaks to is every generation has its trappings. Every generation has its sorrows and its difficulties. And even for people to say at times, I don't think you should bring a child into the world, I just don't agree with that. And everybody's welcome to their own opinions, but I think that you could look at any point in time, and there are wars, and there are famines, and there are difficulties, but to bring a child into the world and then to care for it, to raise it, to instruct it, him, her, is how we continue to move forward. And every person is going to have their own challenges, their own difficulties. You, listening to this now, have gone through your own things, and depending on how old you are, you've seen the world change, and you've seen new struggles, you've seen new people come into power. I know this is a global audience, so not just speaking to the United States, but from my context, I've seen different people be the president, good things, bad things, promises made that were kept, promises made that were not kept. And ultimately, we don't put all of our faith in governing bodies because we've seen that they can't always fulfill their word, nor can they exact the kind of change that individuals can, who are motivated and driven and gather others around and begin making the difference in themselves, their families, and their local communities. So all that being said, each and every one of us has and many for such a time as this moments. And so even within here, it's the recognition of the plights that they're encountering, the violence and the greed and all of those things. But don't let those things crush you and paralyze you from making the difference that you can make in the areas of influence that you do have. And so we all have for such a time as this moment, and it is up to us to rise to those moments and make a difference and not be the kind of people that are only concerned about our comfort and just let everything else fall away. But at the same time, you do have to decide, where are your efforts? Some of us are called to make efforts in larger scale places, in companies or in government. Some of us are called to do it just in our communities. You help, take care of those that have a hard time taking care of themselves, or whatever it looks like for you, even in your day-to-day living, in the way you speak to other people and treat other people for such a time as this moment. And we have all these tiny ones and these big ones. So I won't keep beating a dead horse, but I love the sentiment of this. And it's very easy to look at the challenges we all face and the evils that we see in the demon days and let it demoralize you. But take those things in, take a deep breath, and then get busy about whatever it is, what sphere of influence you have an effect on, a positive effect in the lives of others. And that starts by leading ourselves in a positive way. All that being said, let's talk about some closing thoughts here. I was really surprised by this project. It's not at all what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was all going to be very dancey, and again, I was surprised at how much singing Damon does. Obviously, a ton of it. And, it was a very melancholy album. I wasn't expecting that. It has some bangers on here, but the things that I think I took away the most were the very creative tracks. The White Light track, one of my favorites on here. I loved the monkey, what the heck was it again? Fire coming out of the monkey's head, this kind of narrated story. There were just so many cool things. And obviously you have like the big single, Feel Good Inc. That's just a really great beat. There's so many interesting and unique musical elements going all throughout this. So I found it very inspiring in that way. So all in all, my interest is piqued. I hope that we can get around to some more Gorillaz projects. I mean, ultimately, I know we will get around to more. It's just a matter of time. But it makes me very curious about all the different things that they do and stories they explore and themes and sounds and all of that. So feel free to share your thoughts in the comments with me. I always love having a conversation with you there. We'll work to get content up over on Patreon. We have hundreds of hours of additional content from dozens of artists over on Patreon. It is the best way to support the channel. And lastly, if you're into physical media as I am, feel free to check out vinyl.com. And if you use my code Malnourished or the link in the description, you can get 10% off of any purchase anytime. So thank you so much for being with me for this one. I hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.